Hi lovelies, welcome back to the channel Style by C. Today's tutorial will be on how to recreate this beautiful crop top. Do subscribe, watch and share to friends. Guys, due to my material isn't enough, I'm going to be starting up with the sleeve. Alright, so first of all we're going to mark your sleeve length. So the sleeve length I'm working with is 24 inches long. Okay, you can decide to use 25 inches. So from here now you mark your cap height. That is 4 inches. At this cap height now, this is where you insert your bust measurement. So the bust measurement I'm working with is 8.5. You go ahead and insert your seam allowance, then connect your sleeves this way. Okay, because this is going to be having an elastic, what I have to do is just to drag it from this bottom to the down part. There is no need of shaping the down part of the sleeve because we are adding an elastic to it. So what you have to do is to go ahead and cut this piece out. Having done this now, the next thing to do is to use that sleeve to cut out another sleeve. Okay, because the first one I cut out was just one. Alright, so I'm using it to cut out another one. Making it two sleeves in total. Then you notch the center here. The next thing you're going to do is we're going to be drafting the front piece of our top. Okay, so this is our start point line. So for this tutorial I'm using 16, almost 17 inches. Okay, but if you want yours to be longer, go ahead and add extra inches. So I'll insert my shoulder measurements here. Mark 3 inches for my neck width. From here I'm coming down to 1 inch for my shoulder slope. I'll connect it to this 3 inches that is here. Then from this point now I'm coming down to about 7.5 inches, which is my chest line. So this is where I'll insert my bust measurements plus my seam allowance. Then go ahead and divide what you have at this armhole area into two. From that point you come in by 1/2 inch. This is to enable you create your armhole curve. And this is what you have. Alright. Then at this part now we have 7.25 inches, which is our waist measurement, plus seam, extra inches for your seam allowance. Now you go ahead and cut this piece out. Please note this is for your back piece, so you'll be using this to cut out your front. So this is what you have. Go ahead and fold your fabric again into two. So guys, the next thing I'm going to be cutting out now is my front. I'm using the back one I made, the first piece I made to cut out for this one. So I'll go ahead and so yeah, one piece is for our front and one piece is for our back. Now the next thing to do is you're going to be marking your neck with your neck depth. So I'm going to be marking 2 inches. That is for my back neck depth. I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. Having cut it out, I'll say remove one and I'll work with one. So I'm working with this. Okay, so now the next thing to do is you're going to kick off from, place your tape at your shoulder line, then make a slant towards 9 inches, and this is where the 9 inches is. So from here now I'm going to be connecting to this point. So I'm going to be making a slant towards that place, just like how I place my tape in a V form. I'm going to go ahead and open it up. And this is what I have. Right, so you keep this aside, then introduce back your back piece. So this is my back piece. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and insert my dart measurement, which is optional. You can decide not to put a breast dart. So now I'm going to go ahead and mark 4 inches. That is my nipple to nipple measurements. The length of the dart I'm going to be working with is going to be 1 inch below the chest line. And this is where my 1 inch below the chest line falls. So the height of the dart now is 8 inches. I'll flip to the other side and do the same. So yeah, the next thing to do is you're going to go in with your sewing machine and take in this dart and stitch on your dart line. Alright, that's what I'm going to go ahead to do now. At this point now, I've gone ahead to stitch on my darts and also folded the bottom part of my top. Alright, so the same thing with my front. I also went ahead and folded the bottom part. Now I'm going to go ahead and join it just shoulder to shoulder, right side facing each other. So I'm going to join this shoulder and this shoulder together, then this shoulder and this shoulder together. Alright. So guys, I'm done joining my two shoulders together. I'm going to be introducing my sleeve, and this is my sleeve. Okay, first of all, I'll fold the bottom part of this sleeve, making a casing for my elastic band. That is if you want elastic band to be on yours. Alright, then after which I'll go ahead and join it shoulder to shoulder. Right, this shoulder and my sleeve, I'll join the two of them together. After joining my sleeves, the next thing I'm going to do is to shape my dress. Okay, I actually used 2 inches for my seam allowance, and I'm going to be using 1 inch for my stitching now. Okay, the extra one, the 1 inch I left is for freeness. Okay, I don't want it to be too tight on me, so I'm just using 1 inch to shape the dress. Then for the sleeve area, which is the bottom part of the sleeve, you're going to go ahead and insert an elastic to it. Okay, let's say about 7 inches elastic to it, depending on your round sleeve. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and shape this dress. The next thing we're cutting out is the band that is going to be in front, the band from the stroke, the rope that is going to be in front. So I'm going to be working with 5 inches. Okay, now you'll be asking, why am I making use of a black fabric? Reason is my material, I ran out of material, I had shortage of material. The Ankara fabric was just 1 yard, that was why it was not enough. Okay, so that's why I make use of this black print. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. You can also use 4 inches. It must not be 5 inches. You can also work with 4 inches. I think I'll work with 4. So I'll micromanage the material and use it for another thing. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead to cut it out. So the next question is the length of the band or the rope. It can be as long as you want. Alright, so this is what I have about 45 inches here or so thereabouts. Let's check and be sure which one. Okay, I have 27 times 2, that is 54 inches. It's more than 45. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and join these two shoulders together, like these two ends together, first of all. So the next thing to do now is to measure what I have round. That is from this side of my dress, which is the front piece. I'm going to measure what I have round. This 21, 27. I have about 42 inches. Okay, I'll keep it aside. So guys, the next thing I'm going to do now, this is my rope or the band I'm working with. This is where I joined it. Remember when we measured what we have around our neck, we have 42 inches. And when we divide it by 2, we're going to be having 21 inches. So from this center, I'm going to mark where I have 21 inches. And this is where it is. I'll go ahead and give it a light notch. Okay, I've done that. Now I'll fold my dress this way. I'll fold my rope or band this way. I'll go ahead and stitch here. Run a stitch, like get to that point I notched. So from this open end, I'm going to run a stitch to where I notched. The same thing for this other side. That's what I'm going to go ahead to do too. The next thing we're going to be attaching now is our band. After sewing and ironing it, this is what it looks like. Alright, so find the center piece of your back neck. This is mine, and I'm going to pick this one. This is the center of this point. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and run a stitch on it till I get to the bottom part of my front piece. The same thing with this other side. Alright guys, so now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to be folding it in this way, like running a top stitch on it, just like what I have here. This other side, I'm going ahead to top stitch on it. So I'll do the same thing here. So I'll go ahead and top stitch it. Okay,